Hello everyone, this is John for Poker VIP Coaching. Um, Today I'm going to do a micro speed series, and this is just the general approach to the game. As you'll notice, I'm making sure I auto rebuy to the max. This is a good thing to have, as being 100 big blinds deep will basically, you know, let you play optimal strategy, and that's pretty much what we base a lot of learning around. So yeah, just back to what this will be about. We're sat at a table, two tables of fast forward 10NL, which is like the Zoom Rush equivalent on Party Poker. The game's very soft here, and I'm just going to play as we should. You know, very standard taggish. The general approach to the game. Now, I'm going to do this, and then there'll be more advanced, theory later on. So for now, just we'll start off over here with the Ace Queen. Well, we opened the button and we got 3-bet. We could be 4-betting here, but with no stats, it's a new HUD, no stats. We just want to be calling. We get a great flop, and it's not really a flop we want to be raising, because we kind of only get called by worse, and we could level ourselves and blow up the pot. But we can be calling, and we can improve, we can be ahead, we can trap, and we can go for future street value because we're in position. Over here on table 2, I opened, I've called and missed, but ace high could be ahead here. I had the nut flush draw. Ace queen here, I'm just going to flat again for deception. Ace 4 suited under the gun is pretty close, I think I'm fine with opening it. And when I say over here with ace queen, I'm flatting for deception is, I don't want to raise because I don't want hands to fold, so I just want to call, and then I can call rivers like so. Seems like we had the same hand, and it's a chop, but that's fine. I think we played our hand well. I think we can induce bluffs there, and if it gets checked to us, we can get value from hands like tens, jacks, aces, maybe kings. The ace 4 suited on table 2 when I opened under the gun. I checked the 9-9-10 flop, and that's just because it hits our opponent's range in the face. And what I mean by that is that he can have lots of draws, he can have lots of pairs. Our ace 4 suited doesn't look too good there. We don't have, backdoor nut flush draws or anything like that. So I think we can check fold there. Jack queen offsuit under the gun, I think we can find a fold there. If you want to play on the looser side, you can open, but I think folding's fine for now. You'll notice that I'm hanging around here, I'm not just fast folding. And that's because we want to play a lot of pots in late position, as we do in all forms of poker. Here with the ace 9, it's suited, we're facing a limper. We're going to raise here to isolate, and I'm going for 4 times the big blind, 4x. And the reason I'm doing that is I think he can call with worse, and we can be in control of the pot. We get called, and it's not the greatest flop for us, but I think we should go for a c-bet here, and just over half size of the pot. And the reason I c-bet is we can get called by worse, such as flush draws and straight draws. We can also be floated by, king queens and jack queens. And also we can just win the pot there versus hands that have equity against us. And by that I basically mean hands like jack queen, jack 10, 8-10. They can all improve on the turn and beat us. I'm going to check here and probably call a river bet because it's double paired. If he has a 6 or a 7, then he gets the money, but I think ace high is good there. 7's here just like the ace 4 before. I'm actually going to check here because I really don't like this board. There's 2 overcards, there's flush draws, there's straight draws, and I just don't really know where I am. So I'm going to go ahead and check fold here. King 7 versus the guy who limped. I think it's ahead of his limping range, and the way he played the hand before, I think we can, win money by doing this versus him. Aces there was an obvious opener, and like you all know, it's a big shame when you don't get paid. King jack blind v blind I like to open, and I personally go 3 times the big blind. So if it's 5 cents, 10 cents, I make it 30 cents. We flop a really good hand here, we make top pair. Now don't be frightened here, we need to bet for value. And bet for value just basically means to bet and get money from worse hands. Making top pair is tough to do. Here blind v blind I open queen 9. And I'll be opening blind v blind a lot because people like to fast fold. Once I get 3-bet here with a hand like queen 9, I think I can make a very easy laydown and move on to the next hand. Ace Queen suited, very nice, very pretty hand. We should definitely be raising it up there. Once we get raised, we can do two things. We can 4-bet or call. I don't know much about this guy, so I'm just going to go ahead and call. Ace 2 here, blind v blind. We can call and play the pot in position. Ace Queen, we flop 2 overs and a backdoor nut flush draw and a running straight draw. I'm going to check and probably call at least once. Ace 2 here, it's gone check to us. I'm going to check. I think Ace High is ahead, but we can definitely get check raised and check called on flops like this. I'm going to carry on and keep on checking because the 10 improves a lot of hands. The Ace Queen I'm going to call once, just floating out of position with the 2 overs and backdoor draws. The Ace 2 here I'm going to check and hopefully we'll go to showdown and we'll be ahead. And yep, we beat King High. Over on table 2 we've improved to an ace. Now I'm pretty confident we have the best hand, but I don't want to be raising here because obviously we could be beat. We could be up against sets, better aces, 2 pairs. We basically want to check to allow this player to bluff. He could have a missed draw, he could want to bet worse. It goes check check and we'll have a quick look at what this player had. Should be this hand. He had 6-7 of clubs, so he actually 3-bet me really light pre-flop. And by 3-betting light, I just mean he didn't have a very strong hand, you know, just suited connectors. He bet into his gut shot, straight flush draw twice, and then gave up on the river. I think we did well there. I think we got good value from our hand, and it was nice to hold. But also by checking the river, we allow him to bluff. He missed his draw, so why wouldn't he bluff? You know, that's when people like to. And he can represent the ace as well. 7-8 here, blind v blind. I think we can call. We get to play the pot in position. We're getting a good price. He only min raised. And you know, like I say, we're in position. We've won half the battle already. On flops like this, we can just go ahead and fold. The Ace Queen, we had a limper under the gun, so I isolated 4 times the blind. I did that because I think my hand's obviously ahead, and it's very strong and plays well in position. When we get a really good flop like this, top pair and a backdoor nut flush draw, I'm going to go ahead and bet for value, just over half pot. This guy's been raised us. I'm not too happy about it, but we're getting a good price on the pot, almost 5-1, and our hand strength is too big to fold. So I go ahead and make a call. I've been checked on the turn here. Now, we've got some decisions. Do we bet for value, or do we check thinking we could get check raised again or could be beat? I'm going to check, and also I'm checking so he can bet the river. Now, if he leads the river, we can make a really easy call. Like so. Now, obviously, we're chopping with ace-jack because we're playing ace-ace, 8-8 king. But I'm going to go ahead and make a call. We run into pocket nines and he basically just turned a pair into a bluff. Now by checking the turn, we allowed him to do that. If we bet the turn, he might just fold. The 5-7 offsuit over here, I min-raise the button. That's what you'll find me doing a lot of the time. Min-raising the button's great because people fold so often, so that's all we need to do. We've checked it down here and I'm going to check down my third pair because I don't think I can get called by worse, and I think better might be trapping me. The 8-9 offsuit over here on table 2, I'm just going to make up the blind versus 2 limpers. I don't think it's the best spot to isolate, and you know, our hand can make straights and 2 pairs. We just need to be careful post flop not to give away too much money if we just make an 8, for example. We flop a gut shot on 2 overs here, but I'll be looking to pretty much fold versus any bets. And that's because the board is paired, so we could be drawing dead already versus full houses, or you know, virtually dead. And also, with this many players in the pot, it's very hard to bluff them out. Ace King under the gun here, very strong hand. And like I say, over table 2, I've given up. Ace King, very strong hand, and he's a short stacker. Now, I don't think we need to do anything spectacular here. Flatting's bad, because if we miss, then we kind of feel like we have to call, or we let him catch up. Let's just get it all in pre-flop and be, you know, have a good percentage of winning. It's a great flop for us. It's not the best turn, and it's a good river. Looks like we both had the same hand and we chopped the pot. By going all in pre there, we're 50% against a lot of hands. We're favourite against a lot of hands, you know, versus like ace queens, ace jacks, and we're crushing, you know, some hands like ace 2 and ace 3. And also, he can't outplay us then, because we're out of position. He could easily just, you know, bet and we have to fold on a 5-6-7 all hearts board, for example, or something like that. It could come Jack Jack 8 and, you know, we kind of have to fold because we missed. So by getting in, we get it in as a favourite. It stops us being outplayed, and it makes that just easier for us to play overall. This min raise on the button will make you probably more money than anything. It's crazy, but people do fold often, and for doing such small things you can win a lot. Now, I'm going to continuation bet on this board because, well, we can represent the ace very well. We've opened, he's flatted, we've bet. Now, once we get raised, we can just go ahead and make an easy fold. Do not be calling here chasing your gut shot 8 to the straight. We play so many of these button pots that we will win overall. The Queen 5 suited here, blind v blind. I'm just going to go ahead and make a call like I normally do. If they min raise it, we can call and play in position. We have a hand that can make, flushes, 2 pairs, and even just 1 pairs. We have to be a little bit careful, especially on a flop like this. Excuse me, we may top pair, but we don't want to be raising or giving away too much money. But this is the power of position. We get to just see what our opponent does on each street. It's not the best river for us, but if the opponent... Oh, now he's pot bet it. I think versus a pot bet we can go ahead and fold. I think a lot of times they will check and we can check and we will win, because they'll have stopped, betting their bluffs or worse hands such as ace-3 and ace-2. Maybe even worse 5s like 5-6, 5-7. So I'm just going to go ahead and make an easy fold versus a pot size bet there. Nine 10, it plays very well. We can make straights, 2 pairs, 3 of a kind. But also we can just win the money that's in the pot pre-flop. When people limp under the gun, they normally call and then check, fold, or do something silly like leading. So we can play this pot in position, we can take it down pre-flop, or we can win post-flop. I'm actually going to go ahead and raise here for value. It's one of those spots where I kind of feel like if we're beat, that's okay. But a lot of the time we'll run into a flush draw or a worse pair. We ran into ace-9 sadly, after making 3 of a kind as well. But I wouldn't really feel bad about that. A guy limped under the gun, called raise with ace-9 offsuit. We're going to win a lot of money versus that kind of guy long run. So don't be results orientated. Yes, we were beat that time, but we won't always be beat. Five 9 offsuit, blind v blind, I think's a fold. It just doesn't make that many hands. Pocket 2's under the gun, you can open it, but I think we should play on the tighter side and fold. I think opening pocket 5's plus, so 5s, 6s, 7s and so on. I think 2s, 3s and 4s we can start to fold. Here's another good opportunity for us to isolate. A lot of people would limp here, but why not take control of the pot and get more money in if we hit a set? Gonna 3-bet here, which is just re-raising. The blinds are the first bet, his raise is the second bet, my re-raise is the third bet. 5s here, I'm actually going to represent the king. I think I can win a lot of the times on boards like this and turn our hand into a bluff. And like you see, I only had to bet small, but it was just a very good flop for us to represent and win. Don't be too frightened to bet. Ace 5 offsuit, blind v blind. Let's just call again and play in position. We've got an ace, so we're probably ahead. We're blind v blind, so his money's dead in the pot as well. Let's call. We make a really good hand here. Top 2. There is a flush draw. He could call with worse, so let's go ahead and raise for value. The ace 5 here, I think we go for a half pot continuation bet. We have a pair, we could be ahead. Let's stop hands getting there versus us. And also we can define our opponent's hand. A lot of the times though they will just check fold like you've seen. And don't get too crazy there. If they re-raise you can just fold. Okay, Jack 10, let's just go for a min raise on the button. And let's go for our half pot continuation bet. And like I say, we've been called, let's not get silly. We're going to win so much of these little ones that we really don't need to pay too much attention to these ones. It's a bad turn card, it's a bad flop and we've got nothing. 9-10 suited over here, let's call. Our hand can make lots of, pairs, draws, straights, and flushes. And we can just go ahead and fold the Jack 10 there. When we miss this flop, I think we can go ahead and make an easy fold. And like I say, this is a very basic general approach to speed, or speed equivalents, such as fast forward, rush, and zoom. We're going to start looking at 3-betting, 4-betting, reading stats, position, blind v blind play, and so on, and even bluffing. So I really hope you enjoy this package that we put together of all those videos. But this for now is just as if you're playing your first hands on this speed poker variant. Oh, looks like I've been disconnected. Bear with me. It's all a bit skew with. I'll go back to my correct seat after this hand, and I'm just min raising the button over here with the King 9 offsuit. And I really need to keep mentioning this. Blinds are called blinds for what reason? Because it's blind bets. They're forced to put their money in. They could have any two cards. So let's attack that money, because we all know ourselves. God, how many bad junk hands do we get in the blinds? The amount of times we've got 7-3, 7 deuce, 8-5. Let's get them to fold it. Now here's an interesting thing. This opponent opened under the gun and we called a Jack Queen suited. We've made a Jack, so I think we've got to call once. Even though he could have an ace or, a better Jack or an overpair. Once he's bet twice and the ace is paired, I think we've got to call again. I might have folded if this was a blank, but it's less likely that he has an ace now, so I'm going to go ahead and call. We make a full house on the river, but an ace still beats us. It's a very horrible position, but I don't think we can fold here. I do think this guy could have an ace a lot of the time, almost all of the time to be honest, but folding full houses in small pots is not going to really do well for us long term. He does have the ace, but like I say, I'm not too worried about that. I open Queen 5 offsuit over here on table 2, and I'm going to go ahead for my usual half pot c-bet. And like you can see, it works a lot. We've got an ace here, so let's isolate this limper. Aces are nice, remember. Nine, 10, I think we can open blind v blind here and try and steal this money. He poked that money blind, remember, so let's attack it. And as you can see, we won again. And it's these little bits that really add up. I seem to have disconnected again, sorry about that. The ace 5 suited here, I think we can call, because it's multi-way and we think the big blind might come in. It's nice to have hands that make the nuts. Now, we've got to be careful here not to go too crazy. We have flopped the nut flush draw, but we are against two opponents, so let's see if we can, get the river for free. We're getting a fairly good price here to call. If we hit, we think we can get paid as well. So let's go ahead and call and see if we can catch a diamond. We do catch a diamond and it gives a straight. Now, don't get too tricky here. I think a straight will call us and I think worse flushes might raise us. So let's bet big here for value. Because remember, any queen makes a straight now. And there's lots of two pairs, lots of three of a kind, and also worse flushes out there. We get the all in and it's a shame we can't re-raise because it's an under raise, but I think we're going to get paid off here in multiple streets. Yep. And we make a lot of money there. I'd guess we're against one flush and one straight there. Oh, and sadly, because we got disconnected, I can't actually view that hand. But it was nice to see that we could win, and that was the benefit of leading there. We don't want people to check behind, basically, and we know that people can call. King Queen here, let's just call in position. I think re-raising 3-betting here is not the best move to make when they're only a half stack. We can easily fold when we miss. Ten Jack, we don't want to be calling these. King 8 is an easy fold. And I've just realised I've had my heads up display on. It's something we don't need right now. We're not looking at stats, so just ignore all those numbers you were seeing before. I've turned them off now. We're just playing very straightforward at the moment. There will be an explanation on HUD and stats later on in this series, so don't worry as well. We will explain that in full. Four, 5 suited, I think we can fold. We don't want to get in too many pots with hands like that. Ace 10 suited under the gun, let's raise it up. It's a big hand, it plays well. But we can also be dominated by Ace Jack, Ace Queen, Ace King. And being dominated basically just means for someone to have a better kicker. So Ace 10, 10 would be our kicker, Ace King, King would be theirs, which would, outplay us. Okay, so we've been re-raised here, and I think we're going to just have to make a fold. I'm not confident that I'm ahead, and I don't want to go all in with this hand. I also don't want to call and see a flop, because I think there's a lot of flops that are not good for us. His raise was just so big, I think we can find better spots, basically. A6 suited on the button. Let's min raise it and try and steal this glorious money. And every time we steal, we make 1.5 big blinds. Once we get called, I think we know the drill. Oh, I've actually been let out into here. We can just go ahead and fold. King, Queen, we can call. 4, 5, we can fold. And we can fold the King, Queen when we miss. 3, 9 of hearts. I think that's a very easy fold, and I'm pretty sure you would all make that fold. Jack Queen offsuit in the cut-off, and the cut-off's just the position before the button. I think we can go ahead and raise, and again, we can steal all that money. Ace King, very big hand. Let's raise it up, blind v blind. Sadly, it gets a fold. It would have been nice to have had some action there, because I do know that action makes videos way better to watch. Jack Queen offsuit, let's raise it up. Once we've been re-raised, 3-bet, I think we can go ahead and fold. You really don't want to be calling out a position, or even really calling 3-bets with hands like this. You'll lose a lot of money, because we'll find ourselves dominated or missing the flop too much. All easy folds, and everything's pretty slow at the moment. Let's see if we can pick up some big hands and play some big pots. But like I say, this is the general approach. You'll find a lot of the time you're folding and just winning little pots, but as you can see in my stack size, it does add up. The 9-10 suited here we can call. And the reason we can call is obviously 9-10 suited. It's a very nice playable hand. 10 Jack offsuit I think is totally fine to open in the cutoff. And the 9-10 here, we've made second pair, but there's 4 of us in the pot, so I'm not actually very confident in my hand right now. Here with 10 Jack, we've made top pair, we've been led into. I'm actually going to go raise here for value versus this short stack. I think you can put it in with worse jacks, worse pocket pairs, and flush draws. And now I'm just going to play really straightforward and go all in, because I don't want him to get to the river for free, and I think he might call with worse. If he does have a 6 or a better jack, then, that's fair enough. But I think a lot of the time we'll be up against draws or, worse hands that will call us. So we can go ahead and go all in. Now, I think this would be a mistake to call here with the 9-10. A 10 might not improve us, nor might a 9. There's a flush draw and there's a king. I think it's a pretty easy fold, and I'm going to make it. Min raise on the button, and this is the thing with the button. Min raise any hand that you've got that you're gonna play, because the thing is, if you've got aces and you min raise, and they've seen you min raising with 7-3, or like 8-10 suited, they're not gonna know what you've got. If you start changing your bet sizes, then they might pick up on that. Queen 3, I think it's fine to open on the button. I actually open a really, a lot of hands here, just because as you can see, people fold so quick. 9-10 in the cutoff, I think that's fine to open. Ace King here. Now this is a really interesting hand because we are quite deep. So I'm just going to go ahead and flat here. And by deep I mean $10 is 100 big blinds. So when we've got 16, that's 160 big blinds. So I don't really want to go all in with Ace King, but we are in position and we can call there, and then we can just play now post flop. We all can pocket fives here on the button. So we're just going to go and make our half pot continuation bet. I'm going to call here with the Ace King because I think I can be ahead. We turn 3 of a kind over here with pocket 5, so I'm going to go ahead and up my bet size and try and get some value for my hand. And the reason I think I might be ahead with Ace King is that he doesn't think I've got a hand like that. So I think I can call and he can have, worst aces or, king, queens, etc. He can even have a flush draw. Once I've been betting 2 twice, I'm just going to go ahead and fold. Now over here with the pocket 5s, a straight has got there, but I don't think we can fold, so we just have to pay him off if he's got it. He actually turned bottom pair into a bluff, and we make some money. A7 suited, this is another problem area. Do not be calling with these hands out of position. It is so hard to flop flushes in 2 pairs, and when you flop an ace, you probably beat. Ace King over here, I think we can re-raise, 3-bet. It's a very big hand, we want to be in control of the pot. Let's get some more money in the middle. Queen 10 suited, again, you don't want to be calling with these hands, even though they are pretty, I know. That might be a bit shocking to some of you, but, we want to be in control of pots, and we want to have a reason to be in there, not just calling to, hit things. I'm going to sit out there and call it a video. Can fold the Jack 6. And we can fold the Jack 10. Now that was, the opening sort of general approach to micro stakes. Fast forward, and like I say, fast forward is the same as Zoom, Rush, Speed, Blaze, wherever you might be. It's just a different name per site. I'd really recommend Party Poker. You can sign up any of our links below, pokervip.com/deals. We'll get you there. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this. Please leave some comments, rate it if you can, and head over to our forums on all these sites that we're putting the videos up on, and just get involved and talk. The more play that you play, the better you'll get. And talking to like-minded poker players who are trying to get into this game can really boost you on. So this was John, and I really hope you enjoyed the video for the general approach of Micro Speed Series. Thanks, and good luck at the tables.